is the only acceptable way to express the emotions I went through for week 3 of ARTFIGHT 2024, starting the week off just so strong with post-airplane sickness and chugging a ton of vitamin C. Then I realized I have a lot of attacks that I need to revenge, so I did the only thing I could do and began drawing. This week I bring you, I could be wrong, but I think the most art pieces for a single ARTFIGHT video that I've ever done, which means we have a lot of ground to cover in this video, so let's get into it. The first piece I bring to you today is a friendly fire revenge for River Rain of their partner's character Phenna. River Rain drew me an adorable little Fing avatar way back in the first week of ARTFIGHT, and I've only just now been able to get around to drawing something in exchange. River Rain is an incredible artist and also, unlike me, is very fast at churning out adorable art of everyone's characters. He has already over 100 attacks out this year, and according to his bio, he's working on a 100 character mass animated attack. So you know that one is going to be raking in the points, and that makes me very happy that I am also on Team Stardust. As you saw, this piece began with a healthy amount of the delete your art. River Rain primarily has anthro and feral creatures, and I know I keep saying this, and I know my art portfolio does not reflect my claim in any way, but this is not my strong suit. I don't think I draw characters with fur and animal features well at all, but I do like doing it for ARTFIGHT every once in a while just cause it's a nice change of pace, and ARTFIGHT is a perfect time to step out of your comfort zone and just make a ton of art. And speaking of comfort zones and stepping out of it and how good that is for an artist, I looked at the reference of Phenna and thought to myself, how can I make this the most in my comfort zone as possible? And of course the answer is Dungeons and Dragons. So I wanted to draw Phenna in the style of like a fake entry in a bestiary, or like what you might see in a stat block in a D&D book. So instead of the very cute, adorable, more animation style, I decided to make my life actually hell and draw a semi-realistic animal fully covered in fur. I do think it's a little important to make note of the fact that Phenna is a cat, though I don't think my drawing really indicates that super strongly, and I only realized that Phenna was a cat part of the way through. I was looking at references for quite a number of different creatures when drawing this: wolves, big cats, house cats, foxes, totally completely fantasy creatures drawn by other artists. So my drawing of Phenna, while I think it still looks nice, doesn't read super strongly as cat, and not, at least not as much as I wish it did. I previously mentioned that Phenna isn't River Rain's character. River Rain actually put, I think, 6 characters into his gallery on behalf of his non-artist partner, so that his partner can also get art, and I think that is the most thoughtful thing. I know it's not necessarily uncommon to do that in ARTFIGHT, to post your drawings of someone else's OCs so that other person can get fan art as well, but it warms my heart every time I see that. Things like linking artists with connected characters in the same universe in the character notes, especially if it's that artist's first ARTFIGHT, or if the artist is maybe lesser known, or seeing people put their friends or characters of their friends into their profiles. It's lovely, and there are just a lot of really horrible, awful things going on in the world right now, but small joys like this, like people wanting art to be made for their friends. It's just so, it's wonderful, and it's so much of why I do my ARTFIGHT videos every year in the first place, especially now since social media is such a hostile environment for artists. It is just so nice to be able to support such a wide variety of talents and artists. But on that wholesome note, we come to the end of my drawing of Phenna. I love everything about the character. River Rain has such an eye for good shapes and colors when it comes to character designs, and while he does mostly have more creature-y type characters, he also has some really wonderful human designs as well, so don't let the fear of drawing fur scare you away from checking out his ARTFIGHT page. Also, I mentioned he is working on an animated mass attack. He is sharing progress for that attack on his TikTok account, so if you are interested in that, please check out the links in the description. Very quickly, we are on our way to our second drawing of this week of ARTFIGHT. This is a character that I have had booked for a very long time, if not actually actually physically booked on ARTFIGHT. I was scrolling on Instagram when I saw DragonDoodle78 had uploaded this character onto there, and in the caption they said they were going to post this character to ARTFIGHT, and I immediately knew I had to draw Eden. Eden Everlight is an angelkin, which in DragonDoodles' universe is a half angel. I only have a very small snippet of a window into what this universe is like, and I already can say that it's absolutely incredible. DragonDoodles is working on multiple series, so I can't confirm this with 100% certainty, but I believe all, or at least most of the characters on their ARTFIGHT page, as of this video of course, are part of their webcomic Sunshine and Swords. DragonDoodles makes incredible artwork and has such a diverse and inclusive cast of characters. There's a wide range of skin tones, disabilities, body types, gender identities, sexualities, and they have them all organized in beautifully formatted, consistent character sheets with height charts and everything. Oh, the dedication to the craft is just so impressive. Eden is part of what is called the 9 Noble Knights of Alco, which consist of, believe it or not, 9 knights, each of which are connected to one of 9 virtues. Eden Everlight is connected to the virtue of patience, and consequently their powers revolve around slowing down and gradually draining the strength of opponents, which is downright terrifying. Also around her wrists are these bracelets, which are also used as weapons in battle. Eden's design is just so, I don't want to say me coded because I feel like that's incredibly selfish sounding, but there are so many parts of this design that make me so happy. I've recently been loving character designs with very short hair. I love characters with either too many or too few eyes. I love rendering golden and brassy toned metals. I love designing characters with puffy pants and a knee-high boot, and just in general, I'm an absolute sucker for draped fabric. So you can understand why I wanted to draw Eden so badly. Just everything about him is everything I would have put into my own character design. So obviously that makes him the best. This is not my first time drawing one of DragonDoodles' characters, not my first time absolutely falling head over heels for one of their designs. Last year for ARTFIGHT, I drew Elliot, one of the Demonborn characters. Each of the Demonborn are connected to one of the 7 deadly sins, and Elliot is connected to Wrath, which funnily enough, in the extra notes of Eden's character sheet, it stated that Eden absolutely hates Elliot, which is the only other character of this universe that I've drawn. I think of the drawings that I made for this week's video, this one definitely took the longest, which is not at all to say that this one is better by any means or that I rushed through the other designs. To be clear, I never try to set a time limit on my art, besides obviously making sure that I'm on schedule for videos or commissions and things like that. I do think that it was just a matter of being confident that all the little tiny details turned out right, and then also making sure all the metallic surfaces ended up having a similar finish to them, because trust me, I will spend hours rendering metal. Been there, done that. Check out my rusty Blitzcrank drawing. And the last bit of this drawing was of course the fun stuff, the little halos and adding a color dodge layer for the glowing effect. You can't see it in the speed draw at all, but if you zoom in on Eden's eyes, there are little stars speckled in them. For all that attention to detail, I almost forgot the markings on Eden's face. I was actually adjusting the thumbnail for the ARTFIGHT image, and in the preview I saw that I had totally forgotten to draw the little markings on her face, and I had to go back and fix it after the fact. But after I did that, I was finally able to finish Eden Everlight, the agender angelkin, finally being able to get revenge on the absolutely gorgeous Cleo drawing that DragonDoodle78 made me earlier on this month. DragonDoodles is so good about having a social media presence on multiple platforms. You can find them nearly anywhere: Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, Karo, Webtoon, Blue Sky, the whole lot. I am begging you to at the very least check their work out, like a couple of the images. DragonDoodles is such an underrated artist and storyteller, and on top of it all, they're just an incredibly kind human. So yeah, take a look at those links. Next, for this next drawing, I was really excited about this one. This one was not the shortest drawing of the ones that I made this week, but I did feel like it just sort of happened, and surprisingly quickly. I've been meaning to draw Happyflopsie's character Finnick for a really long time, pretty much ever since I found out that Finnick was connected to Bearjack's storyline from week 1. Finnick Finnick is a tabaxi and is the ruler of the snow-covered kingdom of Heims. Although Finnick never wanted to be a ruler. In fact, Finnick is not a huge fan of responsibility in general. He much prefers to just do what he wants, which most of the time is ice skating. And so obviously this was my excuse to spend my time looking at beautiful figure skating photography from various years of the Olympics and other competitions, which even in my downtime is one of my favorite things to look at. An excellent source of pose references for, you know, more than just ice skating characters. The costumes, the expressions, the hand movements, everything is so, moi, chef's kiss. I will sit a surprisingly long amount of time for being an anxious person for figure skating related topics that I know nothing about. I watched like 3 episodes of Yuri on Ice before realizing that I wasn't actually into sports animes and I didn't care about the plot or characters at all, and I was just watching it because I wanted to see how the figure skating sequences were being animated. I have zero hate to Yuri on Ice or sports anime fans in general. The sports animes are just not for me. I have a hard time getting into them, but that's just me. That's a me issue. That being said, rest in peace Yuri on Ice movie, and my condolences to the fans. Okay, so this background, deceptively simple but very effective. It's literally just a couple of sharp gradients with a rectangle set to look like an ice skating rink wall. And then after that, I scribbled in a light gray blue on a new layer all over the ice section of the background, and then set that layer to a super low opacity to make it look like, you know, like an ice rink that hasn't been zambonied in a bit. It took not even 5 minutes to put that together, and it's not super fancy, it's not perfect by any means, but it was very quick and a very effective way to imply, oh, this character is in an ice rink. And I think for as little work went into it, it looks really nice. I wasn't originally going to draw Finnick with his tongue sticking out in the little mlem, but Finnick is described as a character who feels his feelings very deeply, and I like to think that when Finnick is enjoying his time on ice, he feels like he can escape his responsibilities, and it's like he feels free to be the lighthearted silly guy that he wants to be. I did change Finnick into an outfit very inspired by many of the figure skating outfits and the references I was looking at, but all the colors and details are based directly off of this particular drawing that Happyflopsie made of Finnick. I kept the wrap element of the top, the pink fingerless gloves on his right hand, and the little diamond details where it's blue gems on one side and pink on the other. Even though I put him in a completely different outfit, I still wanted to have these aspects to make it feel still very Finnick. And then my absolute favorite part that I think really just made this drawing so much better, a pink spotlight on Finnick, and I emphasized this light by creating a sort of rim light-esque blue and pink outline around the character design, and that helped to really highlight the shapes and colors. Again, it's a very small, very easy thing that took not very long to do, but I think it elevates the entire piece so much. And so quickly, we are at the finish line of character number 3, Finnick by Happyflopsie. It went by so fast, just because it was so fun to draw. I don't know, it just made sense, which, you know, totally contradicts everything I said earlier about anthro character designs and animal features being difficult. But if you don't find animal features difficult, or if you just like drawing cats, I highly recommend hopping over to Happyflopsie's ARTFIGHT page. She has a bunch of really cute designs, lots of cat and cat-like creatures if you're looking to add some of those to your portfolio. Our next character is Dinokvokun, or Dinokvokun? You know what, I'm not sure. I should have asked for pronunciations, but I didn't because I'm not very smart, but at least I'm consistent. This is a character designed by Amelyanna, their rogue kobold that is so gloriously edgy in all the ways. You know, sometimes you play D&D and you just have to create a character that scratches the itch. Sometimes it's a silly little goblin gremlin guy. Sometimes it's a character built to do only one weirdly situational thing. And sometimes it's the most emo edgelord punk rock guy that you can muster. And I am such a sucker for those kinds of characters. But I am also a sucker for the exact opposite, because I saw another super cute character on Amelyanna's profile page named Froggo. Froggo is like a Shinx from Pokemon that wears a little frog raincoat and little boots. I would do anything for Froggo. This image in general is very inspired by the clip that goes, "And let me see what you have!" No! And that's the only vibe. That's all I wanted from this image. I did try to draw the above ground pool that's in the background of that video, like so that I could match the image to the video clip, but I was a little low on brain cells at this point. The only reason that I could put out a pose this good for Vokun was because I asked my husband to be my reference for it. After the fact, I was showing him the drawing and he was like, wow, the pose for the kobold is so good. And I said, yeah, because I drew the reference exactly as you were standing. Never underestimate the value of taking a reference for yourself. Vokun, who I'm calling Vokun because that's what Amelyanna does in their character description, but also I'm not confident that I'm pronouncing that correctly either. But anyways, Vokun is covered from head to toe in lightning-shaped scars as a result of being the experimentation subject of a crazy old wizard. I too have a D&D child subjected to terrible experimentation that changed their physical appearance drastically. Her name is Tonic, but Tonic has Stockholm Syndrome and Vokun ended the life of his torturer. But also Vokun went back to work for a different crazy old wizard after the fact. So I think we need to talk to both Tonic and Vokun about toxic relationships and bad workplace environments. While I love so much about the characters and the poses in this drawing, I do admit that I don't love the background. I think it's my own fault for trying to find a background that would balance between two characters with vastly different color palettes and aesthetics. In hindsight, I should have done a flat color with a repeating pattern of like knife doodle and a frog doodle. That way there would have been less pressure to create a scene and I would still be able to maintain that goofy, silly vibe. Maybe do that white sticker sheet outline. I love that in a background. But hindsight is 2020. Y'all learn from my mistakes. I know the collection of textured brushes is so tempting, but there is value in keeping it simple, especially when you're in the no brain cells to spare stage at the end of the day. And that's our fourth drawing of the week, Froggo and Dinokvokun. Thank you so much, Amelyanna. These are not the only characters that are in Amelyanna's portfolio. She has stuff that ranges from the most adorable little Pokemon mixes to downright terrifying space creatures. There is just some truly incredible design work and absolutely fantastic, crisp, clean lines and shading. I would be so thrilled to remember to come back next year and draw more of their characters because there are so many good options. I love Amelyanna's art style and I highly recommend checking out their ARTFIGHT page as well as the other links. And my very last ARTFIGHT piece for the week, it was literally midnight. I was just about to call it for the night and I was spending some time figuring out which characters I wanted to draw for next week's video, and I came across SheepDundee's character Greg. Greg is a little pink ice cream creature with horns and multicolored eyes, and he's got a very big war criminal aura about him. I highly recommend going through the various attacks that he has received over the years. I think he has 8 attacks drawn of him as of this video, all of them featuring various levels of implied violence and ice cream meltedness. It is genuinely a joy to witness Greg. This drawing did not even take me an hour. I knew in my soul what I wanted to do and it happened. I wanted the sort of sketchy line art, multiple layers, flat shading, and also 2 other little Greg doodles to accompany the main Greg. SheepDundee spent so much time and extra polish on drawing me a cute Fing drawing, and I came back returning the favor with Greg. So the least I could do was draw 3 of him. This is not at all my usual rendered style, but I do occasionally like to remember that I genuinely like working with flats and line art. I just don't like keeping track of multiple layers, but I'm not sure, something about the way this character was designed just really called for a little animation model sheet looking page. Giving Greg such teeth was 100% me and my own doing, creative liberties and all that. Y'all just know I like drawing teeth. I like to think that while he is actively committing crimes against humanity, Greg maintains his perfectly calm, nonchalant appearance, but when he sneezes, his mouth opens and you can see a little bit of the horrors that are within. Also, I just need y'all to know that even though the most effort went into shading the image that has the teeth, my favorite of the 3 drawings is the one I used for the thumbnail on ARTFIGHT, which is the super melted upper right corner drawing of Greg. It's me! That's how I feel. after drawing 5 ARTFIGHT pieces in 3 days. But that is Greg. What sins will he commit? Oh, I'm bringing Greg into my next D&D campaign as the final boss. Are you kidding me? Sometimes the thing that you love is the character that you took over a week to draw, and sometimes the thing that you love is Greg. Thank you again, SheepDundee, who has already managed to continue the revenge chain, which you will all see in next week's video art montage. SheepDundee also has a ton of other fantastic characters, a lot of little creatures that are just waiting to be drawn, so please do check out their ARTFIGHT page. Speaking of creatures, this was a very creature heavy week. Technically not a single fully human character. All of the designs were an absolute delight. Thank you to the 5 artists who made all these beautiful characters, for allowing me to share the joy that they brought me. And for the rest of you, please do check out all of these artists. They are genuinely kind, wonderful people. But for every art piece that I made, plenty more has come my way. While I was away last week, I got 18 beautiful brand new attacks, which is crazy. Last year I received, I think, like 18 attacks total over the whole month. So thank you all so much for the love. And I apologize that I have to talk very quickly through these just for time's sake, but I need you to know that I love each and every one of the pieces to the moon and back. Number 1, Xyolla by CrowsofAutumn. His attacks are all incredible. I have such art envy for his style. I'm obsessed with the lighting, the stance, the colors. Thank you so much, CrowsofAutumn. Everything about this is incredible. Number 2 is a beautiful group drawing of my trio with some of Brenilla's own characters. Such good scrumptious texture in all of Brenilla's art. Thank you so much for attacking me again this year and for all your support over the years as well. Number 3 is my first IO attack of this year, done by Surrealism's Finest. The clean line art and the soft shading is so lovely. I always love the things that people do with IO's super limited color palette, and this piece is no exception. Thank you so much. Number 4 is actually another IO attack from AnimaePanda, who drew Calliope for me last ARTFIGHT. AnimaePanda drew, you know, that one iCarly smoothie meme, but it's IO with her stolen sheep son Gleefrey. And my partner and I quote this meme literally daily. This is so special to me in so many ways. Thank you so much, AnimaePanda. Number 5, Dahlia Suncat's Calliope in such a gorgeous, colorful style. It reminds me of like the way that classic Sailor Moon manga art looks. It's everything. I love it so much. This is absolutely stunning. Thank you, Dahlia Suncat. Number 6 is my first ever Inkashi attack by Punk X Hazard. I love it dearly. The serious expression, her pose, it's just so on brand for her. Punk X Hazard was apologizing for the colors, but honestly, I think they're gorgeous. Thank you so much for the attack. Number 7 is Plush Fairy. Check out this clean, crisp Isaguen art. Plush Fairy also has a D&D Blade Singing Drow character, so Blade Singers unite, baby! I love everything about this. Thank you so much for stopping by and giving me an attack. Number 8, we have another gorgeous Calliope piece and also another crisp line art piece, this time done by Nikki Knight. The daisies in her hair and the little tail flick are so, I love it. I am obsessed. Thank you so much. Number 9 straight up immediately got sent to the D&D group chat. Everyone loved it. Everyone look at this Fing art done by CRYPTID. I don't even know what to say. This is incredible. Down to even the little signature on his journal. Like, I feel like I need to pay money to look at this. Thank you so much. Number 10 is the first mass attack of this year's ARTFIGHT, drawn by ArrowLove8. She drew it in the style of an Artist Alley booth at a convention, and she put an Inkashti bag on the wall. I've always wanted my art to be good enough to sell at an Artist Alley, so it's like seeing my dreams manifest in art form. So thank you so much for bringing life to my dreams, ArrowLove8. Number 11 is another Isaguen Nimblepick, drawn by YumiAoi. There is so much attention to detail, the different colors in her hair, the split in the eyebrow, the double earrings, the color underneath her eyes. This is so beautiful. Thank you so much. Number 12 is another Inkashti drawn by Dendro. Look at the hair, look at the texture, look at the dynamic movement. Dendro also mentioned that they did extra credit homework and watched the Inkashti journal videos as well, which I appreciate so very much. Thank you for both the art and the support, Dendro. Lucky number 13, of course, as it should be, is Tonic, drawn by LiaInTheWalls. They are the first person to draw tonic for ARTFIGHT, and I love the lighting, the colors, the shape language, but most of all, I love the expression. Everything about this is beautiful. Thank you so much, LiaInTheWalls. 14 is for clownfini's Calliope drawing. I'm loving the trend of people drawing little headshots / avatars of my characters. It's really cute. Also, I am always in love with people putting heart-shaped eye shines in their drawings of my characters. I just find it so endearing. So thank you so much, clownfini. I love her. 15 is another Calliope art piece with crisp line art and beautiful halftones and the most adorable little expression I could have ever asked for. This was drawn by Ringtail Art, who absolutely did a fantastic job of drawing my strawberry girl. Also, look at the hooves. I scream. That's so cute. Thank you so much. Okay, gotta focus. I'm sorry. 16 is Merilith Nicequin, drawn by Queen Lily Gorel. I love the hatching and the shading. I also love the new outfit given to Merilith. She really looks like a mob boss in this outfit. I love everything about this drawing. It's amazing. Thank you so much. 17 is Fing, done by the artist Pandas, who does the most adorable art, and this drawing is no exception. I love the texture. I feel like I keep saying that for every single art piece I receive, but yeah, I'm so serious. I love it. Thank you so much, Pandas, for this adorable art. It's beautiful. And 18, not the last art fight I got this week, but the last one that I can include in this week's video, is Calliope by AshOrSketch, who said they've never drawn a character with vitiligo before, so I truly appreciate whenever someone draws out of their comfort zone for my sake. I think you've done a lovely job with the skin tones and the art in general. Thank you very, very much. And with that, we are at the end of this week's video. I cannot thank everyone enough for the beautiful art and the wonderful support I've been receiving over the course of this month, especially. We have a week and a half left of ARTFIGHT, which is so little time to revenge so many people. Just know I'm doing my very, very best to get to as many of you as possible, ideally all of you, but who knows? Not me.